Perfect. This is perfect. We're done. No, we're gonna get sued.
Okay.
We're gonna get sued by.
Did you pass the 30
people.
seconds?
It was 23.
I thought it was 9 seconds for the sue thing.
I didn't know that was a thing.
I thought it was 30 all this time.
That's why whenever you watch those videos on YouTube of like the sports highlights and they're like this, if you show the same clip longer than 9 seconds, they demonetize your video and shut you down.
Wow.
Yeah.
Damn.
So we lost all our money for this, unfortunately, but fortunately, we weren't making any money off of it anyways. Welcome to episode 4 of the Wet Sock Podcast. I'm Matt.
I'm Alex.
I'm Val.
Say that loud.
And I'm Val.
I was worried I had to edit it.
You need to project a little more.
And I helped.
I helped. I made the almond. Oh, no. I'm the taste tester. This is my least favorite fucking commercial.
I made the almonds?
No, like, I said it wrong, but like, there's this, it's the Blue Diamond almond commercial.
Oh, fuck.
And it's like, and it's the mother and father, like, Blue Diamond, we make almonds. Like, and like, you know you don't, but you grow them, but.
Well, the trees do all the work.
Yeah. Like, the oldest daughter does something, and then the youngest daughter goes, and I taste test the almonds. And, like, and she just stares at you with, like, this stupid look. And I just can't get enough of it. This is great. But I got annoyed because we would go to, like, Market Basket. And I'm allergic to every...
great rant.
Yeah, I'm allergic to every nut. Besides mine. How you doing? And, like... but anyways, I'm allergic to every... one they use for food. And,
my God, you're killing her.
Sorry. You're the worst.
Carry on.
This is heckler practice. So,
All that
anyways,
prep's paying off.
yeah. But, like, I would sit there and I'm like, I can't eat any of this because there's fucking almonds in it. And you go down the cereal aisle and it's just like,
Dude, there's almonds
new
in everything.
Special K with almonds.
Honey
Oreo, honey bunches of O's with oats with almonds. Or like Oreo O's with almonds. And the Captain Crunch is there with fucking almonds. And it's just like, all I can do is just see this like image of this stupid 7-year-old like coming on the screen like, and I taste test the almonds. And she's just throwing them at you like, I eat these fucking almonds, stupid assholes. I'm allergic. So eat them anyway. So that's what I think
What are you
about.
even taste testing for in almonds? They're fucking almonds.
I know. Like, these taste different than normal almonds. They are normal. Like, what are you talking about? But
They're Blue Diamond almonds.
yeah, we put maltodextrin on them, which I'm also allergic to.
What aren't you allergic to, I think is the question. What's on the roster these days? We got fucking almonds, sunflower seeds, which our faithful listeners will know this already.
Yeah. Thank you to all
Good
the
stuff.
diehard listeners. Leave your username in the comments and I'll give you a subscription.
Hang on a sec, Matt. Think about that. Leave your username in the comments.
I know.
Give you a subscription.
A subscription to what? Like, somebody's linked it there. It's like, well, here is a Reader's Digest, because some reason they still make those magazines.
That blows my... I used to get that when I was younger.
Yeah.
Like, I used to actually like it.
Was Reader's Digest the one with the TV Guide in it? Or was TV Guide its own magazine?
Guide
That
was
was its
its
own
own
thing.
Really?
Yeah.
Ah.
I don't, to this day, I'm still not 100% sure what the hell Reader's Digest was. Didn't they just condense books?
It was like a news magazine, kind of. Because I remember I had one from when... there's this big earthquake in Japan.
Uh-huh.
So it had like all these things about, the earthquake and stuff. And I don't remember what else I had them from. But I got it for like years because I used to always bug my mom to get it at the
Is
grocery
it
store.
like 60 Minutes where they have
Yeah.
like a feature story that they condense into 10 minutes and like
Mhm.
it's basically a
And then there's
20-page
other little
story?
features. Like there's one segment, well, whatever you call it, in a magazine that I liked that was
Feature.
It was like feature. It was like Heroes Among Us or something like that. So it was like people that do these like heroic things, or it was like advice columns and.
The only magazines I see nowadays, it's like women's world magazines or like the propaganda ones, like the one, not Esquire, it's the Inquirer. That's what it was.
Then there's that other one whose name is escaping me, but it's always just these awful, just Photoshop pictures of celebrities and just these ridiculous like headlines.
Yeah, it's like
it says wasting away, lost half their body weight.
Fucking like Joe Biden's secret affair with the Queen.
80 years ago, it shows him like eating a hot dog in like San Diego. It's like, what could happen?
And it's just this really unflattering picture of the Queen looking slightly concerned.
I like the meme that's like, she's watching like the opening ceremonies of some like Olympics or something, and she's got this like evil grin on her face.
Oh, you know what that was? That was during the opening ceremony of the Olympics in London.
I've always been a fan of the one where it's a giant billboard and it's Queen Elizabeth's face, and then people put whatever the fuck they want on the left side of that. So they'll just put like just D's nuts, Queen Elizabeth.
Yeah,
and it's just her
May
face.
She rest in peace.
Yeah. It's
damn, that's kind of a big deal, isn't it? Like I always thought that she was one of those immortal beings, you know? It's not one of those things that you thought would happen anytime soon.
Yeah. It was weird. Like I watched the procession yesterday when they took her from like
New York.
Yes. No.
Oh.
For like Buckingham to Parliament, I think is where she is now. But it was just like, this is like...
This is happening.
Yeah.
Doesn't the body, like, decay, though? Like, is at some point they're going to show it to, like, some museum and it's going to smell like shit? Like, but no, won't that be the thing, though? Like, you got to pay respects, they open up the coffin and it's just, like, this decaying body.
I imagine there's, like, a glass, like, thing they put over
her, it's
right?
closed casket, but I'm sure they already, like, did the, whatever, embalming.
Like a mummy?
Yeah. Basically, you like what happens like when people die if they drain all your bodily fluids and then pump you full of like formaldehyde or preservative stuff so that you'd like.
That's what they did with Lenin's corpse. You could actually in the Red Square. There's like this weird little building you could walk into, and I forget how many years it is, but they touch up his corpse. It's insane.
Wow, I didn't know that was a thing.
Yeah, seriously, look it up. Like Vladimir Lenin's corpse, you can still go and see it. They don't allow you to take pictures inside or anything. But
you know what the stupid part about that is? When you said Lenin, I was thinking John Lennon for some reason, and then you said
that
corpse.
Was a good guess.
You said corpse, and I was like, oh no, it's Russia. Like it had to be that. I'm like, oh wait, no, they preserve his body because he's a legend there.
That's right. Yeah.
Basically a god.
Yeah. I mean,
it's still there though, right? Like like you can just see it.
As far as I know. I was gonna say, Val, you doing some fact checking there?
I am indeed. I'm morbidly curious.
Morbidly curious.
But John Lennon, on the other hand, I don't know what they did with his body.
Probably it's like in nature somewhere.
Yeah,
that's
see, there
fucking
it is.
Weird. Yeah,
it's
for everyone not viewing this because it's a audio thing only. It's just extremely pale figure laying down.
It's a very dead Vladimir Lenin.
Very dead person that's been dead for roughly 100 years at this point, I would say.
I've read that his skin has taken on the appearance of waxed fruit because it's been it's been preserved for so long.
Oh my god!
Probably looks like the raw phyllo dough that we were like.
Oh, don't ruin that!
No.
Speaking of phyllo dough, why don't we tell everybody about the delicious meal that we just had?
Okay.
As Val slams her fucking drink down on that glass coaster.
You know how many?
That good?
We have to edit all the. So we made a very comfort style
I'd say
meal?
it's
Would that
comfort
be
food.
like comfort end of a stressful week type
Yeah.
of meal?
It certainly wasn't healthy, but it was good.
Yeah. So we did a couple components. So Val and I made spanakorizo, which just means spinach and rice in Greek, and it's like this spinach tomato rice dish with that's it. And then
It means spinach and rice.
It means
The
spinach and
ingredients are
rice.
Spinach and rice.
we put the word "and" in there.
Mm.
And then Val made chicken meatballs, which are awesome. And then Alex, I need your help pronouncing this because I fucked it up.
That's okay. But for the I almost said viewers, for the listeners that don't know, Matt and I are both half Greek, so we do have some little bit of Greek culture going on there. Both of our grandmothers and parents on the Greek side of the family did a lot of Greek cooking growing up. Greek food is fucking amazing.
Yeah.
But anyways, what I brought to the table tonight was kolokio keftedes, which kolokio, Greek for zucchini, keftedes, Greek for meatballs, so literally zucchini meatballs. But there's no meat in them. They're really good though. You shred up a bunch of zucchini, throw in some feta cheese, some eggs, some flour, some dill, a little bit of nutmeg. Mix it all together, fry them up in a pan. If you ever had like latkes, picture that, but with shredded zucchini and feta cheese instead. Amazing stuff.
So good.
It was. I would say it's like a mix of like latkes and the scallion pancakes, like the flavor
Oh,
at
that's
least.
right, yeah.
Yeah,
Just
they're like
scallions
big
ain't good.
scallion
Yeah.
pancakes.
Or green onions if you prefer.
Oh yeah.
Mm.
And then for dessert, what got this whole thing kicking off was we made galatoborico, which is just like a cream pie dessert, cake, custard dish thing. I don't know. I don't know how to describe it though, because it's
I couldn't spell it either, so
it's
like,
farina, milk, and sugar as the custard, and then phyllo dough top and bottom, like baklava.
It kind of tastes like pulverized tapioca pudding sandwiched between like phyllo dough, a phyllo crust
Yeah.
with like sugar.
Sugar syrup
Syrup.
on it, yeah.
Yeah.
But it's so good. It was like it's heavier than a cannoli,
Mhm.
but it's lighter than cheesecake. I would describe it
that's
like
pretty
that.
good. Well, in any case, Matt cut me off a very hearty slab of it, and it was gone in seconds. I just straight up
Destroyed
inhaled
in
it.
seconds.
Exactly, destroyed in seconds.
But we were
What's
talking
next?
we were talking about how I barely could have this as a kid because my Aunt Gina was the only one in the family that had it. And I asked my mom if we could have it, and she was like, "Oh no, your aunt makes that." I was like, "What are you fucking talking about? Like, how's she gonna know that you made? Like, what is she gonna do? Arrest you?" And she wouldn't make it. Like every sister in our family has a specific recipe that they make. But then I talked to my aunt about this, and she sent me the recipe immediately. I didn't even ask for it. I was like, "Hey, I'm making this." She goes, "Oh, here's my recipe." I was like, so I'm just sitting there like I want to go back in time and tell my mom like they don't give a shit that you're cooking this at all. It's just,
You're betraying
Maybe
the
it's
family.
a sister competition.
it might be. Like everyone, I think everyone just got like a recipe and you had to, I don't know. But I was like I was saying earlier, it's like it sounds like a Harry Potter or like Lord of the Rings thing. It's like I want like this sandwich, and it's like, "Ah, yes, you must go west to the motherland of Ref and get grilled cheese."
You
Like,
gotta slice the finest Cabot cheese.
yeah, you must ask them, and you must prove that you are a mighty warrior for the cheese from Cabot of Vermont. And it's like, well, yeah, but that's gonna be way past lunchtime, and I'm already hungry.
Yeah.
You must make haste. Like
Godspeed.
why? How would I make haste? Like, I'm just gonna walk.
You need cheese.
Yeah. So
How does one make haste?
I don't know.
That's what I'd like to know.
I'm gonna invent a dessert and call it haste.
It's incredibly cinnamon forward cake.
I don't know what haste
It's actually
would taste
very
like.
quick to make.
Yeah,
The
well,
only-
yeah.
The only haste I remember is when I played Magic the Gathering. One of the abilities of the creatures would be haste, and if you played it, you could attack with it or use its abilities immediately
See,
instead of waiting a turn.
I never played Magic. I feel like I just missed the bus on that one because I know we're like not even a year apart, but that was the game that the older kids played because that was the one that was kicking around before Pokemon and Yu-Gi-Oh came out. It's like whenever you see people playing Magic the Gathering, like, oh, those are the older kids.
So my cousin Chris played it because my Aunt Kim played it. And my mom said, oh, your Aunt Kim played it all the time. So when I started playing it with my friend Albert, I was like, oh, yeah, my aunt's been playing this since she was a kid. And Albert just turned to me and he was like, this came out in 1993. I was like, well, she's young, you know. Like, Chris is older than both of us. Stupid.
Those years add up. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's what the problem is.
Same thing.
Like, my mom had me thinking it was a game out of the 70s. And if you look at, like, the old art from, like, the Alpha set or something, it kind of does look like a really old game. But, yeah, most of my friends who were older played it. And then some of the generations sucked. And then some of the younger kids started playing them after they got good again.
I remember when Pokemon became a thing, and then kids would trade cards on the bus, and then eventually they banned Pokemon on the bus because
I feel like that happens at
people
every
would get
elementary
so
school.
upset about like getting shafted in trades or whatever.
Oh my god, I have such a funny story to tell you, but like, I don't want to hurt my cousin's feelings. So I have a cousin that is not to be named, even though if he ever listens to this, he obviously knows exactly what's going to happen. This was like Pokemon became really popular when we were kids, and then it died off a little bit. And then my cousins who were like 10 years younger than me got really into Pokemon. And my aunts did the same thing they did with me. They just bought them a shitload of cards. They don't know how to play the game. And that's fine. Like, they're just collectibles at this point. I don't care. They're collectibles. And he had like a stack of them, and there's like a ton of shinies in there. And he went to school and he was like 7 or 8, and he wanted this Pikachu, which happens to be a common, and it came in almost every other pack.
Yeah.
So he gave the entire deck of cards for one Pikachu.
Oh my goodness.
And my aunt was just like devastated, and I was like, man, I felt so bad.
I feel like everybody has gotten shafted at least once with Pokemon cards.
Yeah.
Honestly, I was friends with this kid. I must have been in 3rd grade, but I was friends with this kid who was in 5th grade. And you know, when you're back then, even though it was only a 2 years difference,
they're all giants.
It seems like 5th grade. Damn, this kid's got life figured out. He's a grown up basically.
It's when in Harry Potter, the older Weasley's like, I'm a prefect, and you're just like, fuck, damn, it's nice. Sorry, continue.
That's okay. Anyways, so this kid Paul, right? He was, I think, if I remember correctly, I had a holographic Blastoise card, so it's pretty good. It's not Charizard, but not bad. He gave me a fucking Taurus and a Metapod, if I remember, and I didn't know anything.
Oh no.
And then, so that was an awful trade. So long, Blastoise. And then I forget what. Okay, so another thing he did one time was he had a holographic Gyarados card, but he had let it sit out in the sun for way too long to the point where the card
did it curl?
It didn't curl, but the card started to fade. I still have this card to this day. The card started to fade a little bit, and it was sun bleached. So he sold it to me one time, telling me that this was an ultra rare bleached Gyarados card.
Oh no!
In my dumbass 3rd grade self, I was like, dude, I'm gonna give. I forget what the hell I gave him for it, but looking back, I'm just like, wow, because I still have all my Pokemon cards. They're in one of those plastic sleeve doohickey things. Yeah. So I still have the card, and I have like a regular holographic Gyarados next to the bleached Gyarados, and looking at them side by side. Like, the bleached Gyarados, air quotes, is all, like, scratched up and shit. Like, this thing isn't worth anything.
Dude.
He's like, it's ultra rare bleached Gyarados.
Dude, so I didn't get scammed, I don't think, but there was a time in 3rd grade, I was on, like, we were in the playground or whatever, and, like, I really wanted Blastoise. And this kid, Nick, had, like, a giant Ziploc gallon bag of Pokemon cards. Like, he didn't put them in a binder or anything.
Savage.
So he was just like carrying around, and he had Blastoise, and I was like, oh my god, I need to get that. And we traded, and he didn't show it to me at first. And when I took it out of the bag, it was like all fucking scratched up.
Of course.
And I was like, how do you scratch up the card to like put it in a sleeve or something like that?
Yeah.
Shit. And I freaked out, and like eventually he like gave it back because we retook the trade, rescinded the trade because I cried. I don't remember what I gave him though. It wasn't Charizard or Venusaur or anything. It was like something good that I wanted back or whatever. But
But you got it back.
yeah, I was very lucky. The other thing, that scam that you fell for, if you want to call it that, the bleached Gyarados
The
one.
Bleached Gyarados
That's-
heist of 1999.
Yeah, I wouldn't feel bad about that though, only because all of these cards have fucking lore around them. It's like, oh, that's the first edition Japanese version,
Yeah.
and it's like that, or it's like that's one that like got printed backwards. Like these all happened. They like some of them got printed backwards because they fucked up the production. Those are all worth like a shitload of money.
Yeah.
And
No, it's like when you get coins and like, you know, there's like minting errors and stuff. Same deal.
yeah, I always want to go after those pennies that are like worth like $2 million because there's like a penis on it or something. Like there's something, there's something
the
abnormal.
engraver stuck like a microscopic penis right under Lincoln's head.
They're laying me off in 3 weeks anyways. Fuck you.
I'll just put a penis next to his mouth.
Instead of like
Everybody would get all excited about the spiders on the $1 bill. It's like
Yeah, forget
child's
that.
play.
Exactly.
instead of the P for the Pennsylvania Mint or the D for
P.
Denver, it's horizontal. This is the rarest quarter. It's like, what's coming off of it? Is it scratched? No, that's pubic hair. The finest of engravings, only at the U.S. Mint. Which brings us to our first sponsor, Tic Tac. I eat these. All right. Val also eats these. There you go. Alex also eats these. There you go. Now back to the program. We're not sponsored by them.
We're just gonna give him a free plug.
Yeah, they've helped me out so much in life. I gotta just give it to them.
Do you care to elaborate?
No, it's like one of those placebo things. Like I'll have them just because I like mints, but like if I'm ever like in an anxious situation or like being weird or something, like I don't know, like I'm uncomfortable or not feeling well, not like a cold, but just like that like uneasy feeling of anxiousness, I will have a Tic Tac, and for some reason just the like once the sugar disperses and everything and just playing around with it, I completely calm down.
I mean, at least you chose like something harmless like Tic Tacs
Yeah.
instead of like slices of bacon or something.
Crystal meth.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like a heroin, like, oh, I'm so nervous for my meeting today. So
exactly, guys, I gotta go shoot up real quick.
yeah. So like Tic Tacs are definitely a good one. It's annoying because like they're loud, so if I have to chase anyone, it's like
You're just shooking around.
Well, when we had Miss Ellie class with Leah, that was your shaker.
yeah, that's true.
Like my niece.
You might want to
Like,
explain
so-
what Miss Ellie is.
Yeah, so my niece, like during the pandemic, she's 4 now, but so 2-3
She
years
grew
old.
up she became a human during the pandemic,
Pretty much.
basically.
So a lot of her social interactions were virtual. So like one of them was, one of those like sing along type classes.
Okay.
And the leader was Miss Ellie.
Mhm.
So they'd sing all these songs, and she'd always tell the kids to go get a shaker so that they could play along.
Right, it's like maracas or something.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So, and then when we'd go up to Maine, she would lead the class for us and tell us what songs to sing. And she'd be like, okay, you have to get your shaker. Everybody have a shaker? And of course, I'd have to go get like the jimmies from the baking cabinet or something.
Well,
Matt had his built-in.
I got Tic Tacs. Val got Montreal steak season.
Oh, that's right. Yes. Yep. Good stuff.
Yeah.
You gotta go shook out of that.
Yeah.
Yep.
And then she was like expecting me to sing stuff, and she's like really animated.
Oh,
I think she's going to be an actress when she grows up.
I
Like
could see it.
I could totally. She's going to be like world
She
famous.
loves performing for people. She loves having an audience.
Yeah,
And like,
she's very photogenic. Like it's very. It has to be the most photogenic person I've ever seen in my life.
No shit.
But like, she's so animated while singing the stuff to you. She's just like something on a bus, and I'm just like, yeah, you're right. Absolutely, I'm gonna sing that.
Yeah, I could see that. Yeah.
No.
Something on a bus.
Yeah, but it just like.
But she really sells the things on a bus.
Yeah. Like,
oh, Wheels on the Bus was like,
Oh man.
No, it wasn't Wheels on a Bus. It was the one where
What else
like
is on the
it was
bus?
the one where like you're whispering. Oh no, it was the animals like
oh, where is whatever?
something. It doesn't matter. It was some animal thing where they
So
disappeared
there
or some
was
shit.
no bus involved.
There was a bus on one of the songs. We
Where
ended up
is
singing
Tiger? Where is Tiger? Here I
no,
am.
not that one. But we would sing like 7 songs, and her parents were just like, "We gotta have dinner soon," and she was like devastated. I was like, "No, we can do one more." Like 5 songs later, we got dinner. I didn't realize how long the concert would be, but it's fun though. It's like I didn't like that as a kid, but I like it now. It's weird. Like I don't know.
Yeah, no, I hated that stuff growing up. I remember like every single school concert or whatever. It's like I'm sure like every elementary school does a similar thing where it's like they, it's a winter concert or whatever, so everybody wears like a fucking sweater with snowflakes on it, and then they herd you onto the stand, and then you sing like Jingle Bells and a couple other Christmas songs.
I hated those.
I was the
stands.
kid that mouthed along to it because like I couldn't care any less.
You know what my biggest fear was in school?
What?
Now that we mentioned this, being on the end of the stands, so your parents had like everyone in the audience could see you. You know, like so the bleachers, right, or the stands.
Mhm.
You're like, some people would be at the very edge of it, and everyone in the audience could see you. Like you couldn't hide. I freaked out because like I wanted to be in the dead middle, so no one could see me. I didn't want anyone to see me at all. It was just like too much anxiety.
Yeah. It wasn't even the anxiety for me. It was just like, this is dumb.
Well, yeah, it was dumb. Like I remember, I'll never forget these fucking lyrics. Like in 5th grade, I got yelled at and like sent to the office because I debated with the music teacher about singing this song called "One Little Candle." I was just
Was there a lyric that upset you?
no, it was just
It was just stupid.
It was just stupid. Like she's like, "All right, everyone sing this," and there was like one little candle burning bright.
You know what's screwed up?
Little candle
Now-
in my tights, and it's just
now
like,
that you're singing this song, I'm pretty sure my school did the same song
yeah,
too.
no, everyone sings
One little
these.
candle in my what?
Don't worry about it. But
in my tight.
yeah, but like no, but like
It's so tight.
yeah, but like they
Ugh.
no, but they made us sing the song. So like I raised my hand because everyone. This got me. This is a great lesson actually that goes on for the rest of life. Everyone's complaining about singing the stupid song, and no one says anything about it. So I raised my hand. I was like, "Can we not sing this song?" And the teacher was like, "Excuse me." I was like, "It's pretty bad. Like, why don't we just sing like Led Zeppelin or something, or like could we? Is there something else we could sing?" And she kicked me out of class, and I had to go to the office the whole rest of the day. As it's like, yeah, because I didn't want to sing this, and then like we ended up singing it or whatever. But this is a great lesson for life because it's one of those things like. Everyone complains about something at work or like in a hobby group or something, and then I bring it up and no one else speaks. And it's just like, all right, none of you can complain to me anymore. None of you, because they're all cowards.
Yeah.
I was gonna say something else, but I don't want to delete that. Yeah. Oh yeah, we haven't had that.
Yeah. Where's the ring?
I know, right? That would have been a perfect time for it too,
I
don't you
know.
think? Alright,
Yeah,
let's try that again.
You're all a bunch of. There it is.
Right,
Yes.
I didn't turn on our one sound effect soundboard.
I know. How old is this actually? Did you say that in the last episode?
Oh, whoops.
What was that?
I hit the high C. I exited my thumb. I don't know if it was the last episode or the episode before, but I've had this thing since second grade, like circa 2001, 2002, sometime around there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's not bad.
Yeah, I love this thing. I brought this on like camping trips and stuff. It was great.
That's sweet.
I don't know what's the first place my mind went.
Yeah. I brought it in the water.
Like I would bring this to school and like camping trips and stuff. It was great. It's a good time.
Yeah.
It's got all sorts of like this. Okay, this will date it instantly. So it has like some preloaded songs in it, right?
Yeah.
The first one that comes up is "Wannabe."
Oh my god.
All like this awful like MIDI music. There's that.
So I've always wanted to make a YouTube of that song where it's just a complete loop of her saying, tell me what you want, what you really want. And then like they bring the camera to the other girl and it's just her talking again for like 5 minutes. And it's just all the other, like the 4 other chicks in the band are just pissed off at her. Like
That was one of my first CDs.
The Spice Girls?
Yep.
Really?
Yep. I think it was. I got that. I don't know where. I think it's in the living room now. But that boombox with like the CD player and the tape player on top.
Yeah.
Oh yes.
So I got that with. I want to say it was like Hanson, Backstreet Boys, and Space Jam. Shut up! I was in
you got
fifth grade.
Hanson?
It was fifth grade.
It was of the time.
Oh.
You want to know what my first CD that I
Don't
ever bought
say
was?
Hanson.
The first CD I ever bought was Aaron Carter's first.
Oh!
See,
It was
That
of
was-
the time.
That's terrible.
Dude,
Both of you. What are you doing?
Well, what was
Okay,
the
what was
CD
yours?
you ever bought?
Mine was the Led Zeppelin classic hit.
bullshit.
I
that's-
swear to
that's
God,
a
my
lie.
aunt
Bullshit.
got it.
That's
No,
a
I
fucking
fucking
lie.
tell you, that's the first
No,
CD
that's
I
a
ever
lie.
had. My aunt got it for me. My aunt Deb got it for me.
So you
It was a
didn't buy
2-disc one. No, I never bought
The
these.
Well,
The first one I ever bought was a Nirvana one when I was like middle school. Everyone would just give me stuff for Christmas.
no, I'm talking about the first CD that you asked for. Not necessarily went out and bought, but just what was the first CD they said, like, Mom, I want this CD.
I think mine was the second Spice Girls CD.
Yes, that's what I'm talking about. Like the first CD I was ever like, Mom, I need this CD. It was the Aaron Carter CD. And I think after that, shortly afterward, was the Baha Men album.
Oh yeah.
Oh my
Which featured the hit single "Who Let the Dogs Out."
My sister had that.
Oh
I didn't know
my
how the
God.
fuck albums worked back then. So I'm thinking like, wow, "Who Let the Dogs Out's a really good song. If I buy the album, then surely it's going to be great songs,
Yeah.
just like this one. And it wasn't.
I remember looking for specific songs. This was the song. It was American Woman, the original one.
I'm about to guess who, yeah.
And it was on a cassette.
Oh.
And the only one we could find on a cassette was like this mixtape of all these random fucking songs on
Oh,
there.
those were the best though. Sometimes you got some good ones in there.
But most of them sucked. But like I had the same perception though. I thought that everything on that album or the cassette was going to be like dynamite. And I'm listening to it and it goes from like rock to like depressing folk, and it's like the 70s are weird, man. Like, what the shit?
Was this just some random mixtape that somebody had made?
No, I got it at like Ames or something. It wasn't even like a comic. It wasn't even like
Remember
a store.
Strawberries?
I never,
No.
Strawberries is one of those places that I knew they existed, never actually went to one though.
It was like
Is it like an old version of
FYE
Newberry
or something.
Comics or something?
Yeah, kind
Oh,
of.
FYE doesn't even exist
I
anymore.
know.
I think there's 1 or 2 left,
Yeah.
maybe?
Yeah.
It was basically like music.
Yeah.
But I still remember there used to be one in Acton, like up near where you used to live.
Yeah.
And that was like the thing for a long time was they gave out these, instead of like gift cards or gift certificates, they had these little coins.
Okay.
And you get like, they're different colors depending on the amount they were. So that was like the thing for birthdays. But I remember going, I think it was 8th grade. It was the year the last time the Colorado Avalanche won the cup, and it was when they had Ray Bork, so they were playing they're doing all these like sentimental commercial ads for them and stuff, and it was the song "Wherever You Will Go" by The Calling, and I was just like, I saw the commercial, I was like, I need that song.
Oh yeah.
And I was just like on a mission to find it somewhere. So I remember going to
Right.
Strawberries with my mom, and she found it on, I think it was Totally Hits.
Not
Whatever.
One.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Like,
the first one that
oh
came
yeah.
out.
Like,
Not even that's what I call music. It was
yeah.
Was
No,
it-
it was like
another
the
series?
The one before
off-brand
that.
now.
oh, I see.
Yeah, but that was like in the era of like single digit now.
Wow.
That
Yeah.
actually brings back a lot of memories because today you can have like an earworm or something. It's like,
Oh,
oh,
yeah.
what was that song? Instantly Shazam it, or like if it's playing, or if you think about it, you can just type it in on Google. It's like, what's the song that sounds like "Abba Dubba," and it actually like gives you the right song, and you're
Mhm.
like, wow, I can't believe it.
Well, that was like we did that with that song in the hockey game, right? We heard it in the background of the
Oh yeah,
Stanley Cup.
we heard this one song in the Stanley Cup, and all you could hear was. And she found it. And I tried Shazamming it, and I couldn't find it.
We couldn't get a good enough clip of it, and then
You like understood the lyric, and all it was "do it to it" or something. But like,
yeah,
I had no idea it was saying that
Do it.
because I can't like I
Ain't nothing to it.
yeah, do it to it.
yeah.
But it was
But you can only play it for
yeah.
less than 9 seconds.
8.5.
But this is what plays like the
Yeah.
the electronic part.
Right, and you can't Google that.
Yeah. So I was
This
like,
was this part.
yeah. So it's like that's all you could hear. And she found it. I was like, that's nuts. Because originally, like 15 years ago, you'd have to go up to like a Newbury Comics and go up to like the person behind the counter and be like,
Hey man.
okay, hey man, have you heard,
The song
have you
that
heard
goes,
this song? And just kick you out for having like an orgasm. Have you heard the song?
Yeah, totally. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
gotcha.
I think Beck plays it. Stupid.
Yeah, it's a deep cut.
Yeah.
Mm.
But I do remember having to do that though. And like the people who worked at those places were so fucking knowledgeable about like modern music or any music at that
Totally.
point.
Like you guys remember? This is movies, but you guys remember Suncoast?
Suncoast Video?
Absolutely.
Oh
Yeah.
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 Yep.
No, that was a place. It's like they just had just videos. That's the place where you would go if you you couldn't just look stuff up online. You'd go with a very vague, wow, I can't talk. You go with a very vague memory of some movie, like just the most basic plot points, and they would
Yeah.
help you figure out what movie it is, and then order it for you if you
Yeah.
didn't have it.
You're just like, there's a vampire, you shoot someone, there's some werewolves. Oh, Underworld? No. Helsing? Yes. And they just know
Yeah,
immediately.
exactly.
It's like,
Yeah. No, that took talent for sure. I mean,
Yeah.
there was a couple times I remember going in there with my dad and just having that same process happen. Yeah.
I thought it was interesting. Walking through those stores was kind of like scrolling through the guide on like, your cable channel. You press the guide, all the channel, everything that's showing on the channel is showing up. But you're just scrolling through and it's like trash, 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 and you finally find like one good thing and you're like, oh, okay, I can do that. That's exactly what it was like going through those stores, though.
Yeah, except you're just physically there. It's the only difference.
You're physically in a TV guide, and you're just like, these movies suck, and you just walk through like 30 aisles, and then you finally see like a Terminator or something.
Oh, I
And
remember going to like the rent, and they would have like the new releases section, and you'd like immediately go to that wall and be like, oh,
that's the only one you would go to.
yeah.
The other one, it's like an independent film before independent films were cool, and it was just like Sarah and the Flower. And that was an independent film back then. You're just like, oh man, this
I would just always go for
sucks.
Sleeping Beauty every time.
We used to get The Replacements and Remember the Titans as a kid, like every week. And my mom finally got it for us, and my dad would watch Remember the Titans every single day.
Damn.
Like
Wow,
she would
like
come
dedication.
home. I don't know what it was. Like I think we watched that, The Replacements, Warriors, every Godzilla movie, like dozens of times. I can just quote all these stupid things in there that don't even make sense.
Now, did you have any movies that as soon as the tape popped out, you would pop in the rewinder and then put it back in?
Fight Club.
Damn, alright.
You know,
Surf Ninjas.
No.
Surf Ninja.
No. Moto Surf.
Money can't buy knives.
Rob,
Money can't buy... What?
Rob Schneider
Yes.
in his career performance.
Oh my god.
How did they get Leslie Nielsen to do that movie? I don't know. He must have just needed a paycheck or something.
He was in that?
He was in that movie. He was the Emperor of Japan, I think.
He's not even Japanese?
I'm not even making this up.
Oh man.
It's no bueno.
Yeah. It
It's
was on
about as good
Netflix
as
for a
it
while.
sounds.
Oh, that was one of those that was just like
I think the
up there.
Peak 90s.
I
Yeah.
think the late 80s and like all of the 90s, but mostly like late 80s, early and mid 90s had like the wildest shit for
yeah.
like trying to appeal to kids or like high energy shows. Like think about how stupid all the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle movies are.
Of course.
Like
Yep.
they're fantastically terrible. Or like Johnny Five, the robot one, which has a fantastic gang song in it.
That's not ringing a bell.
It's so there's a
No.
robot and it's Johnny Five and he sounds exactly like Alfalfa from or not Alfalfa, fuck Alpha.
Alfalfa.
No,
He sounds
from
like Alfalfa
no,
from
no.
Little Rascals.
No,
Boba
not
Fett's
Little Rascals. No,
grandfather.
the guy from Power Rangers.
Boba Alpha.
Is it Alpha?
I don't know.
Alpha, yeah.
Is
Yeah,
it
Alpha.
just Alpha?
I think so.
It's certainly not Alfalfa.
But he talks like this, Rangers, and like
Oh,
that.
okay.
That was the robot. But Johnny Five also talked like that,
Okay.
and so he's this top secret robot that the government's trying to get back,
Ah,
and
yes,
he
the
goes
government.
into like he goes into like this shitty like car shop or something, and they fix him up, and he becomes their friend, and he also befriends like this tough group of gang members called Los Lobos, and basically to introduce Los Lobos, one guy jumps in front of a camera and he goes, "Los Lobos kick your ass," and then it pauses, and then he jumps out of the way, and then another guy jumps in front of the camera, and these are all solo shots on them, and he goes, "Los Lobos kick your face," and then he jumps out of the screen, and then the next guy jumps in, "Los Lobos kick your balls," and then all of them say, "Into outer space," and then like they become like this influence on Johnny Five. It's like the shittiest movie, but like this is the 90s. Like all these movies are like that. Like
See, that's the thing. Like, it sounds like absolute crap, but it's enjoyable at least.
yeah.
Oh, yeah. Well, there's like we had a regular roster of movies like that. It was like Richie Rich.
Ugh.
Which was,
Oh man.
It's right when Macaulay Culkin started to hit puberty, so
Yeah.
like he stopped being like a cute,
He wasn't,
adorable
like,
kid.
cute, he was
His
just
voice
kinda-
was starting to crack, and
Yep.
it was just weird.
There's
Yeah.
that. There's Blank Check.
What's Blank Check?
I didn't
about?
see Blank
Um,
Check. I don't know
It
what
was
that
this
is.
kid that like, I think he's riding his bike and like some rich guy either hits him or he hits the rich guy's car or something like that. But the rich guy just like writes him a check for his bike.
And he doesn't write the amount.
Exactly.
Oh,
So
and
the
they-
kid
and-
fills it in
oh.
and then buys like, you know, a mansion and puts a water slide in it with like a ball pit and all this crazy shit. And it was
And at
basically
no
like,
point the
look-
check
Did he get
bounces.
sued?
Great.
Yeah.
Oh, that's
Never.
amazing.
Then Heavyweights, which was like the
That's the Fat Camp
one.
movie.
Yep,
Yes.
yep. Was that one of the ones that we saw on Disney Plus? I know Camp Nowhere was on there.
No, it was on Disney Plus.
Oh my god.
Um,
Heavyweights, man.
That yeah.
There was
Camp
like
Nowhere with
Indian in
Christopher
the cupboard.
Lloyd. Mm-hmm.
Like all these like shitty live action ones. I think the good ones were like The Sandlot and Little Giants.
Yeah.
But there were a lot of like
Sandlot's an enduring classic.
yeah,
That's-
there are a lot of like not good ones. Those were like top of the
yeah,
mountain.
top tier. But then
Well, it's
there's
funny,
gonna be
like
Like Mighty Ducks, Sandlot, sorry. Like
Yeah.
those ones are
top notch.
it's funny though because when you go back to watch them, a lot of times they just don't hold up. But then when like when you're a kid, though, it was like they're like the epitome of like
It's the
This is
epitome
great
of
entertainment.
It's
Yeah,
the epitome
exactly.
of cool. Because
Yeah.
all of them, none of them were about like a kid who's alone, except like Matilda maybe. But like
Yeah.
everyone was part of like this group. Like you wanted to be one of the ducks or like part of the
Oh
Sandlot.
yeah.
And like they didn't not hang out with you if you were the tool. Like you were just in the group still, but you were still a tool. Like it just made you want to belong. They don't really make movies like that anymore. They're all like this, like even the camera style looks darker today than it did in the 90s. Like you look at 90s films like The Sandlot or something, it's like this bright, like there's no effects going on. It looks like they're just shooting a random video. It's just like comforting to watch. Nowadays it's like there's like a yellow filter and a black filter on it to make it like this very intense shot of a kid having fun on a swing. It's like it's just too much effort. Like
Because
stressing out.
chances are in the 90s they were actually filming a kid on a swing, but in 2022 that's not a kid, that's not a swing, that's all green screen behind him.
Yeah, and the kid's like a 25-year-old guy.
That's what I'm saying. All the lighting is done like with computers and stuff. I think another huge thing is that you're using these digital cameras that make everything look like perfect, pristine, clean, manufactured versus just nice film grain.
Yeah.
It gives you the warm fuzzies.
Mm.
One thing, this is totally understand if you don't get where I'm coming from, but one thing that I really miss is older films when you have like the title crawl or like just text on the screen and it shakes ever so slightly.
Mm.
I love that.
Based on a true story.
Well, with any text, it could be the title, it could
New
be
York.
the cast. Yeah, like, you know, like New York, 1988. And like the text is like shaking ever so slightly
Yeah.
just because of like the film grain.
Yeah.
That, I love that
They don't
shit.
have that anymore.
No, because everything is just done so perfectly in like a hermetically sealed environment.
Or like the little text on the bottom corner of like home videos.
Yeah, those two.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Another great example. It's nuts though. It's like if you ever see like any of the behind the scenes stuff for, let's just use the Avengers movies as an example. Sure, you see how much of that is actually done on site or in an actual environment. Absolutely none.
Yeah.
It'll just be whoever like Iron Man wearing his costume, and then there's just green behind him.
Yeah.
It's all, I don't know. It doesn't do it for me.
There's actually a cool video I watched the other day. So that new Wednesday show for
Oh yeah.
Wednesday
What is
Addams.
That's soon, right?
I think it's this month. It might already be out. But so they did that, and they're comparing it to the old Wednesday Addams, who Christina Ricci was played.
Yeah.
And so what they did was they did an offset shot where they're like, "Hey, do you want to pretend to be Wednesday Addams and like give us a tour of the set or something?" And not breaking character at all. She walked around the entire house of the Addams family, and it wasn't like green screen. It was an actual mansion,
Yeah. Like
and they actually had a backyard with like gravestones in it. And she's like walking back there, and like her brother is playing in one of the graves, like in one of the graves and everything, and like he's pretending it's like a race car, and she's just like, "That's my brother. He's an idiot." and like just they don't have sets like that anymore at all.
Because why do that when you can just put up some green screen and just have the computer guys do the rest?
Yeah, I will say that movie Knives Out, that one was filmed around here.
Yes, in Maynard.
Yeah,
Yeah,
But
all places.
yeah, but they had everything was in like an old mansion or like
Yeah, it was like in Easton or something like that, like the actual set.
yeah.
And they did like a car chase or a driving scene through Maynard, and then the part where like
The laundry shop.
yeah.
See, like movies like that, those like just feel better than all the
There's a
ones
certain
today.
amount of authenticity you get from just using anything practical. I would take bad practical effects any day over CGI effects, just
Mhm.
because someone's blood, sweat, and tears went into making that shitty makeup or that shitty monster. But god damn it, they tried.
Mm-hmm.
And it's a real thing that you're looking at. It's
Yeah.
not just some computer generated thing that somebody whipped up.
If I was gonna say like name a movie franchise that perfectly encapsulates this conversation from good to bad, what would you say off the top of your head?
Oh, jeez. What, the good or the bad part?
Both. It went from good to bad based off of CGI.
I don't know. One I'm thinking of is the Terminator.
That's an interesting one.
That's yeah, just because think of all the practical effects they used in the first Terminator movie,
Yeah.
and then
They built, like,
right
robots.
They act the exactly.
or
It's like
mechanical
what
bots.
do you mean? And like the last couple scenes are all stop animation. They actually built like a model that they moved and everything, and someone went through the trouble of animating that. But what were you thinking?
I have two examples of this. Thomas the Tank Engine,
Oh,
where they
okay.
built...
So we weren't talking just movies.
Oh, no. Thomas the Tank Engine in Star Wars.
Oh,
Because
okay.
they built the sets and everything.
Star Wars, of
And
course.
then Star Wars, that's the knock that all the 1 through 3 episodes had, was it's all CGI. And then they tried to make more sets in 7 through 9. So 7 through 9 looked better than 1 through 3. But 4 through 6, with like the original one, looked great.
Yeah, I mean, it's one of those. It's one of those. Episodes 4 through 6 was one of those cases in just movie history where they were basically inventing the special. Yeah, ahead of their time, inventing the special effects as they went, which is insane. Like just the stop animation effects alone in episode 5 for like the AT-AT scenes, they still hold up.
Yeah.
I think so, at least.
Yeah.
The only one I can think of is Pirates of the Caribbean.
Oh yeah, the first one was beautiful.
Yeah, first one was just great, and then they started adding in all the like
Just
The
weird monsters and
cool
shit.
effects.
Yeah.
And then like, oh yeah, like the
Davy Jones.
Yeah, the
Yeah.
Davy Jones thing. Like they almost did it too much in the first one, where they're like something about the ghost story, you're in one kind of thing when they're on the Black Pearl for the first
Oh
time.
yeah. Yep.
And like the moon goes through them kind of
Yeah.
thing. Like
See,
that was
like a
almost
gentle,
too much.
That was a gentle integration.
That was like a little like, oh, wait a
Yeah.
minute kind of thing.
But that was like a minor sort of gentle, just sort of like it's enhancing the scene. Whereas the second movie, and I haven't seen past the third one, nor do I care, it
No.
just relies on special effects. And that's the issue.
Yep.
That's the thing. That's why I think Lord of the Rings was made at the perfect time, because like they
Oh my
all-
god, yeah.
did it
Yeah.
right.
Yeah.
Like it was just enough.
Like Peter Jackson, like hats off to him. He was very against using, like he wanted to keep the CGI effects down to a minimum. So all of those scenes, like when, whoops, oh no, hold on,
Wait, did it turn on?
no, it didn't turn on.
Oh,
It
it went
just-
back to base.
It defaults to that
that's
noise. I
terrible.
don't know what that is. There we go, just in case. But the scenes of Gandalf with like the hobbits or whatever, it's like those aren't. It's like those aren't composited shots. It's all forced perspective stuff.
Yeah.
So like one guy sits in a very specific location, the other guy sits in another. And if you ever see, like, there's actually, as the camera turns, the sets rotate to move with the shots.
Yeah.
Oh wow.
He was
They're
very,
like far away from each other. Actually,
Exactly. Forced perspective.
That's really cool. I think that's also something that Shakespeare did, because they had they would have the play, like the sets, but the sets would move. Like people would move the sets during those times, and it was like first time
around.
ever. Yeah, they don't even do that today. It's like it's just
Like, here's the set.
people like that would have been brilliant today. But I think there's always people like that.
Yeah, I think we're going to see. I think in our lifetimes we're going to see like a shift towards going back to basics and using those practical effects, because I think people are getting fatigued at this point.
Yeah.
Just from, especially with all of those Marvel movies are like, case in point, there are no practical effects in those. It's just all computer generated.
You're filtering a lot.
Yeah.
So what do I say like every night when you're like, what do you want to watch?
Yeah, exactly.
So I say that, and then I say
Something light.
Because if you turn on a show like Game of Thrones or Breaking Bad or something, like no one has to speak. It's just what it looks like. It's just so much, and at the end of the day, like, it's not relaxing. It's something that you have to get invested into. The music starts, like, it's not like no other show ever didn't have music, but like, it's just so intense. There's so much intensity and weight in the moment before they even show a character, and I'm just like, fuck, like
You're already exhausted.
it's
before they show up.
9:15. Yeah.
For some reason, that reminds me of. I never actually. Well, I've seen it on YouTube, but the South Park where they do the Game of Thrones theme song, but they just instead of like the instrumentals, they do floppy wieners.
Floppy
Oh, yeah.
wieners.
Wieners, floppy wieners.
I haven't seen that one. I'm so sorry.
Yes.
But yeah, it's like it's too much weight. I don't know. Like nothing's easy to watch anymore.
I feel like everything is a commitment now. Like there are so many times where I'll see a trailer for something that looks good, and I'm like, "Oh, when's this movie come out?" Oh, it's a series.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That makes me want to watch it less because then now I have to take time to actually sit down and watch the freaking series, and every episode's going to be a movie length.
Yeah. I thought that Moon Knight thing was a movie.
Oh, it's a series?
It's an 8-part series. Like it's on Disney Plus right now. It's like multiple episodes. Each one's an hour. I thought it was a movie. I'm just like, oh.
It was like, oh, I'd watch that.
Come on.
And you know what the thing is?
8 hours.
You know what the thing is? It probably could be a movie, but they're just gonna pump some filler in it, pump some characters in it,
Yeah.
and then
Another annoying thing about that is like we're tired of that. Other people fucking love it. Like Joker,
yeah.
right? Everyone's like, oh, you gotta have like 15 more Jokers. No, because then they're not going to be as good. Just let it be standalone. That's what happened to him. That's
I'm really glad you brought that. What did you think of that movie when it came out?
So it was a lot of emotion, and I felt more comfortable watching it by myself than at the theater.
Okay.
Because people there were like, there was so much energy in the theater because people were concerned about it being like a mass shooter event or something. So it wasn't, I couldn't focus on the movie as much because everyone was like looking at the exits basically. Because a lot of fucking weird people were going to see it and just like acting weird on purpose. So
that was when the Colorado shooting was Batman, right?
Yeah. But it was years later, but like
yeah,
it was the
so
same.
there's
It
like
was the same thing.
Like,
They
of
had
course you're going to have critics saying like, "Oh, you know, there could be
Yeah.
someone walking in."
Yeah,
Like, wow,
so
way
they-
to get people on edge.
but
people
they
ideas.
had they had police officers
Oh, wow.
like guarding the entrance of the theater when we went in, and they would check you. They were just like, "Hey, yeah, let me see that," and they would just do like a full search of you, like going on an airplane. So I couldn't relax during the movie. When I got it, I have it on DVD. I watched it again, loved it.
It's great. I like that movie a lot, and I actually heard from more than one person like, "How the hell did you like that movie? Like, what's wrong with you?" And I'm like, I kind of liked how dark it was.
Yeah,
And it made the joke. It was because I mean I've probably made it perfectly clear by now. I'm not into the Marvel movies. I'm not into like the superhero movies. So
Yeah.
seeing this movie kind of take a more realistic, gritty, darker approach at it was super refreshing. Also, just having it take place in New York in the 70s was perfect.
yeah.
I liked just the grittiness of it was probably the part that I liked the most.
Well, it's like the new Batman.
Yeah.
A little more like that.
Exactly. And people want like a million sequels to that. But the other thing is that I wanted to make a point on was I think that movie shows a lot about today's culture. Like it's the fake like if you're having a bad day you can always reach out to me, but like if you ever reached out to that person they wouldn't give you the time of day. Like they like want to make you think they give a shit.
Mm-hmm.
But like that movie is so good because it gets you in touch with feeling bad for someone that started off good and went down a horrific path. And they're like, you feel bad for him? He's a serial killer. It's like, well, before that, you can see how he was made fun of. You can see how he was brought down. You
He
saw how
didn't
the
just
building-
wake up one morning and say, "You know what? I'm going to kill people."
Yeah, he just
You see all the shit that he goes through.
he
throughout the entire movie.
deteriorated, and everything he knew was wrong anyways. And I think people are afraid to feel sympathy for a bad guy because you were taught you're either a good guy or you're a bad guy, and that's it. And like that's the interesting thing with these like serial killer documentaries or something. Not to go like too off topic, but like you see
There are
how
no
they
topics here.
No.
I was gonna say yeah.
but it's like you see how they become fucked up. Like most of them are brought up, their mom and dads are like beating the shit out of them or raping them or something. It's like they didn't just be like, I watched Power Rangers the other day and it was really good, and now I'm just gonna go rob a store.
Yeah. I saw this giant like guy dressed in a monster costume hit somebody. I kind of want to go kill some people now.
Yeah,
like,
exactly.
That's not how that works.
No. So like I just think people can't for a moment be like, I feel bad for that guy, and they don't have empathy for it. It's like you're either good or you're bad, and once someone turns bad, everyone's like, I've been against that guy my whole fucking life. It's like,
right, and then the dehumanizing process begins, and
Yeah.
they're like, oh, I hope they get killed because I don't care about them.
yeah, and they're like,
they're not even human.
I could never relate to that person. Oh my god, I'm such a good person. I could never relate to that person. It's like you've never been depressed, and it's like no, because if I was depressed, I'd become a serial killer. It's like no, you wouldn't.
And I'm
you
not
would
that
need
person.
Prozac. That's it. Like you need therapy, and you need to work on it. That's it. And maybe you can get help now because it's a bigger topic. Like, my god. That shit kills me. I hate people so much.
Well, I'm glad you like the movie.
Yeah, no, I love the movie.
Good.
But that's what it is. Like I like that movie because I could relate to the guy. It was so relatable. People suck. You're gonna get stepped on.
He was just constantly let down the entire movie.
Yeah, and sometimes it works out. Like Silver Linings Playbook. It's like an upbeat movie with a terrible thing that happened, and it's like his life is upside down. He has to go to therapy. He's put in a psych ward at first. Like all of these changes happen. He has to meet someone who also has the same issue, dealing with depression and anxiety. It's just a different tone. But everyone's like, oh, I love Silver Linings Playbook, but it just kind of shows like not everyone's like path out of therapy is perfect. Like sometimes you go back in and it's just like it's like Arkham Asylum. Basically, you're fucked.
Like every time I've heard someone complain about the Joker movie, one phrase I hear every single time is "it came out at the wrong time." What does that mean?
When is the right time? When is the wrong time? 2019.
Yeah, and everyone's it just came out at such a bad time. Why?
2020 is like hold my
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Well, everyone did think 2019 was a terrible year. There's a bunch of songs even, like 2019's a disaster, like all these things, and it's like...
I feel like people have been saying this is the worst year ever since at least 2010.
Yeah.
Honest to God.
Yeah. But none of them, like, everyone's like, 2007 was great. And it's like, you hated 2007 when 2007 was here. Like... You're never happy.
Like you don't realize how good the year was until it's the next year when things are quote unquote worse.
Yeah, I think that's something that I've changed in my perspective. I was miserable every day, so it wasn't like the worst year. I was just like, life sucks. But over the past couple of years, I've had the chance to like, I don't know, reevaluate things, be patient, be with myself almost like. Not constantly thinking about the future and not dwelling on the past. It's just a constantly present thing. And it's helped me like look at the positives of what's going on. It's just like, all right, I can take a deep breath for a second here and just like, what's the situation? And be like, this isn't that bad.
Yeah, chances are it's really not. Like you got to take a step back and just look at how much you've accomplished and all that stuff, and you are in a good position in life.
Yeah.
I feel like I am too. Yeah. It's like I'm not going to let minor inconveniences just piss me off. It's not worth my time, frankly.
Exactly.
Yeah. The other thing is too, you can you can let things bother you for a bit, but as long as you're able to kind of pull yourself out of it, like, yeah, sure, stew for a couple hours or whatever it is, and but then move on.
That was when I knew I started to get over depression. I could pull myself back.
Yeah.
Because I wasn't just like something bad would happen. I would just dwell on it for like days. I could not stop thinking about it. I'd just ruminate and ruminate. And now it's like something bad happens and I'm like, all right, how am I going to fix this? Not why did they do it? It's just like, okay, well, what's a logical solution to this? And now I have more of like that problem solver mindset, which it can be taxing, but
Like, ultimately, like,
I'd rather
the
have
end
that.
result's a hell of a lot better than just stewing and dwelling on stuff for weeks on end.
It's more of like a hopeful feeling, and like,
Oh, Jesus.
it's more of like a hopeful feeling, like I don't know, just a nice feeling in general.
Mm-hmm. I think it's important to reflect on the past from every now and again, but dwelling on shit is a totally different animal, though.
Yeah,
Because every now and again, I'll look back at something I did, say, in high school, early college, and just absolutely cringe at myself.
yeah.
But it's the best possible cringe you can have. Because if you can't cringe at your past self, then you have not grown as a person.
Yeah.
You haven't learned anything.
It's always going to be a cringy one too. People are like, oh, if you just get over it, like you can just think about it. It's like, no, I was still a complete fucking moron when I did that.
Yeah. It's like, no, that was still... Yeah, no.
Yeah, like I do something stupid like 30 years ago, and now I'll think about it. I'll still hide under a table after that and just be like, oh my God, don't look at me. No one's here. Like, well, don't look at me anyway. Oh,
Every now and again, do you just have like a random cringy moment just pop in your head completely unprompted?
yeah. I feel like I do feel like it's sparked by something, but like not that immediate. It could have been like from a dream or something that just popped back into my head. Like, you know how you suddenly remember the dream you had last night?
Sometimes, yeah. Depends on how vivid the dream is.
Okay, for some reason I remember like everything, but
Impressive.
I'll just have like a stupid thing I'll reminisce on and just be like, fuck. It's so embarrassing.
It's nuts because one of the most embarrassing things that ever happened to me. It's funny because this memory just randomly cropped up the other day, and I hadn't thought about this in years. So I was in this really toxic relationship in high school. This was like my first actual relationship, and I was just beyond whipped. It was just awful. I had to do as I was told, or else like just.
Or I'm not talking to you again.
Just I will ruin your life, that kind of
Oh.
stuff. Like,
Yeah.
I will make up rumors about you. I will tell your friends you said this, even if you did. That kind of shit,
Yeah.
right? Just awful, nasty things.
Yeah.
Anyways, so the person I was going out with, she was in the choir or whatever at my high school. And so I remember it was like the end of the year choir event or whatever the fuck. And so I went with her parents to go see her perform and go up on stage or whatever. Now, at the end of the event, because there's a lot of previous like alum that would go to this thing, it was a big deal. So at the end of the event, there's this one particular song that the choral or choir students or whatever get taught, and it's like kind of the I don't know how to describe it. It's the song that brings all the chorus students together.
The antithesis.
Sure. But they learn the song every year, and it's sort of like a secret bond that they have. Like, every chorus student that ever went to this high school, they know the song. It's sort of like a secret handshake. Sure, we'll call it that.
Yeah.
Anyways, at the end of the event, if you happen to be a former chorus student, chances are you can learn this song, and you can go up on the bleachers and sing along if you really want to, because, you know, you're a former student, whatever. I remember being in the audience. I think I was maybe like 5 rows back with her parents, and she shoots me this look from stage saying, like, you better get up here. Now, I was never involved with the chorus or anything.
Oh, no.
So I remember I was like panicking because I didn't know what to do, because it was a little bit ambiguous. They didn't quite say only chorus students. They made it sound like anybody can come up on stage. I had no idea what the fuck was going on. So I leaned over to her parents and I was like, can anybody go up on stage? And they shrugged. And she's still looking at me with fucking daggers.
Oh my God.
So I went up there.
Oh no.
And they start singing. And I didn't know any of the words. So somewhere on videotape, there exists footage of me standing up there trying to mouth along with the rest of these chorus students.
Oh my God. The amount of, like, I'm crippled right now just thinking about it. Like, I can't imagine. Like, I would have, the amount of blankets I would have hidden under in the corner of a room and just been like, oh my fucking
And there were
God.
other people I knew that were there too. It was
Dude.
it was a mess.
That like totally crushes my story that I was gonna tell. No, I'm like, I'm sorry that happened.
I gotta crack another one open.
Yeah, there was. I remember my grandfather was friends with this famous jazz musician, Marion McPartlin, and she invited us out to dinner after one of her concerts. So I'm like 8, and we're at this. I think it's at the Continental in Boston or something like that. Just this
Route
whole
1.
something like that. I don't know, but it was a restaurant in Boston. I forget the name of it.
Oh, so not the Continental.
Maybe it's not the Continental. It could be something else. It started with the C. But anyways, there's a fancy French restaurant. So we get there and like there's random people walking up and being like, "Oh my God, you were fantastic tonight." And she goes, "Oh, thank you." Like this very elegant woman. You know what the first thing I asked her was?
What?
Why isn't your hair gray? My grandparents have gray hair, and my mom's even got some gray hair, but you don't have any, and you're older than them. And like, she's multi-millionaire, Grammy Award winner, and I'm just like thinking about that now. And she laughed at me, and she goes, "Why, darling, haven't you heard of hair dye?" And I'm just like, "Oh, okay." And that made sense to me, and I was like, "Yeah." And my mom looked at me like she was gonna murder me, and my dad, same thing. Everyone's just doing that, and I was just like,
Who is this?
Marion McPartlin, the pianist,
Oh.
like
God.
the best of all time,
Oh, wow.
ridiculously good. But it's like she performed up into her 90s,
Wow.
but like.
Yeah.
That's the first thing I asked her. I was like, "Oh my God!"
I'm sorry. How old were you again?
Like 8.
I mean,
I-
it's not like you were 21.
No, I know. Yeah, exactly.
It
was
been a lot
yesterday.
less.
Yeah, it was the other day. Oh my God, no! Okay, this reminds me of another embarrassing story.
All right.
So I was at my very first internship that was not civil engineering, because I was computer science back then. I was doing a database thing for this company in Ipswich,
Mm-hmm.
and
Oh, you pointed that place out to me.
yeah, so all the interns were in this room. They called it the intern pool.
I thought you were going to say they call it the intern room.
They're in this room with interns called the intern room. No, but like we're sitting there, and this woman who's like a project manager there came in to say goodbye to us, and I had never like experienced someone leaving like a professional situation like that before. Like I had only been a cashier, and people like just get fired or go back to school. Like it wasn't like a career place.
Just kind of disappeared.
Yeah, they just disappear and you like never see Tom again or something. But like this woman came in and she was like, "Hey, I just wanted to say it was great working with you guys. I'm leaving the company. I'm going somewhere else." First thing I asked in front of like 10 people, "Why are you leaving?" That one I was 22 for.
Oh.
So everyone just looked at me and was just like this, and everyone's like, so all of them are going to like these like top-notch schools, and I'm like at UMass, lol, and like I just compared to like Northeastern,
Depends what you're going for.
WPI, MIT, like all those, but that's what it was looked upon back then. So it's like that feeling's going on, and like all of them just like are these elaborate people, and I just felt like the biggest dumbass in the room. It's like, and she goes, "Oh, Matt, we don't ask those things," and I was like,
Oh, see, that makes it even
I
worse.
saw it.
"Oh,"
That makes it even worse.
and I was
'cause-
like, so I was trying to rebound from it, and I was like, "Oh, well, why do you want to go to that place then?" Like, what?
Oh.
And she was like, "Well, I've always wanted to do this." She just left after that, and everyone's like, "You're such a fucking idiot." I was like,
oh my God.
I don't know. Like, oh my God. That's the thing. Everyone thinks I'm like wicked good at talking to people now, but it didn't start off that way. I started off like the most awkward fucking idiot. And that's what I try to stress to people who are stressed out about talking to people. Mess up.
Well, you don't learn.
Yeah,
I was going to say, you don't learn anything unless you mess up.
Yeah.
But what makes that situation 10 times worse is that she straight up said, we don't ask those questions.
Yeah.
Now, the hair dye situation, like, darling, haven't you heard of a hair dye? Like,
Yeah.
that's different because, like, she's like, that's a joke. Like, she
Yeah.
kind of rolled with it.
Yeah.
Ugh.
It was so bad. Like, at her goodbye lunch or something, I was just like, but I had to make it up. So I walked up to her. I was like, I'm so sorry. Like, I've never talked to people before. I don't know. Yeah, I don't know how to talk to people.
humans.
Like, the only people I know how to talk to are my parents or just people in line buying objects. I've never talked to a civilized person before. And she was like, "Oh, don't worry about it. It's fine." I was like, "I promise I won't ask any more stupid questions." And I just walked away. And she's like,
"So how much do you weigh?"
"Yeah." Like,
How old are you? Yeah.
How much do you make?
How come your hair's not gray?
Oh, God.
Doesn't learn anything. It's brutal.
The pay question's tough. I never asked anyone that, fortunately. Like, my parents told me, like, my mom told me, like, don't say how much you make, don't ask what religion or something, and don't ask how much a woman weighs. Like, something like that. Or ask how old a woman is. That's the other thing.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So I was like, okay. So I grew up, I was good there. So
I flat out, I remember I was young and we were up in Maine and I flat out asked my dad how much he made. He's like, well, you don't really ask people that. Like, it's not really a good question.
No. Sorry, next question.
I was like, I don't know that.
Yeah.
But that's how you learn.
Yeah.
Exactly. You got to mess up. But that's funny you say that, because my mom was the same exact way. Don't talk about how much you make. Don't talk about religion. Don't bring up politics. It's like those are very easy things to not do.
It's tough because when, like, even at work, like,
oh, dude! Anytime people talk about pay, I nope the fuck out of it.
Yeah.
I don't talk about it. That's all.
Even at previous company, I was
previous company TM.
Back at previous company TM, there was two employees that are not there anymore either, and they would just openly talk about pay, and it's just like,
did you grow up in a barn?
Like what the fuck are you talking about? Like, this one person, we were at a Chinese food restaurant, and I'll call him Ground. So Ground was
great name.
So Ground was sitting there, and he said, I just got this for my raise. And he's like bragging about it to the two of us. And I was just like, I would never say that. I would never.
I just got it.
You got it, right?
Yeah, I just
Thank
got
you.
it.
I would never say that. But he just like openly said the raise he got. And I'm like, okay, this person's fucked up. Like, their parents never said anything, or he just, like, he probably talks to them about it. I don't even tell my parents how much I make.
No, I haven't.
You're the only one that knows how much I make. That's it. I don't even say anything.
I think my parents know, like, ballpark how much I make, but they don't know.
Yeah, like, my folks got an idea, but they don't have, like, an exact figure.
Yeah. I think my mom, like, wants me to tell her what I make, because she's like, I make this, and I make that, and she just keeps saying it over and over again. I'm like, cool. I'm not going to tell you.
Mm. Does she see your W-2, though, when she does your taxes?
Yeah, probably. But she still wants to talk about it.
Yeah.
Like, it's just, I don't know.
It's funny, like, I was brought up the same way, like, you don't, all those things you don't ask people about, but then I read stories about people that, like, are getting fired from their jobs or whatever, or, like, leaving and they just don't give a shit anymore, and they have access to, like, like, the company salary roster or whatever, and they just send it out, like, on blast.
Oh,
and
my
people
God.
see.
That's fucked up.
It is, but it also, like, lets people see how much they're making for an equivalent role compared to their...
Oh, Jesus.
It causes all kinds of problems.
Isn't that
but it's
Yeah.
illegal?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Super illegal. But what are they going to do? Like, the guy's already gone.
Yeah.
But it's interesting because, like, I always used to wonder that, like, in my old job, they gave you, like, a range of salaries for your position. And you could, obviously you knew where you fell in that range. But it's like, it makes you wonder, like, well, who are the people in at the same level that are making, like, 20K more than I am. And
Yeah.
like, why are they making 20K? You know, like it does make you wonder a little bit.
It is interesting because, like, say the previous company is a great example of this, right? Engineer 4 or Engineer 5. It's very rare for you to be an Engineer 5 because usually, like, between Engineer 3 and 4, you get your PE.
Yeah, and you become project engineer.
Yeah, the only people that stay Engineer 5 are like the ones that don't get their PE because either A, they just don't want the role, or they don't want to do the test, whatever it might be. But those ones, Engineer 5 is like being a project engineer without the PE. It's like you need like 10, 15 years experience for it. So Engineer 4, you can start off at X range, but there are people who are in that range for 10 years and they just keep getting inflation bonuses because they might suck, you know, whatever it might be. And that has to carry from the base of it to the top. And I think that can skew the results because you could be a shit employee. You could just become a great employee and you just become E4. You've been E4 for 20 years. Like, it's so variable. That's why it's tough to, like, compare that at times.
Yeah. I used to
It's a
wonder
very
too,
weird
like,
scale.
Yeah. Like, you know what you started with as an engineer 1 or like entry level or whatever, and in what year, and then with inflation and stuff, and it makes you wonder, like, okay, so what, adjusted for inflation, what are, you know, new hires making now versus what you made? And like it's
very close.
a very interesting thing to think about
Because they still start you off, say, at like 60 or something, and then like the new people are starting off at 65. But then after a couple of years, you're at 65. But they just started off at 65.
Exactly.
And it's just like, holy shit, this person sucks. I'm teaching them everything, and they're making the same amount. And like your company won't like just sit there and be like, oh, you're at 80 now. They won't do that. They'll be like, oh, this person's doing the whole project for us, and they're only making 65? Fuck yeah. And they just pound it on you.
Yeah.
And it's just like, okay, you guys are assholes.
Yeah, and that's the only kind of argument I can see for sharing salary is, you know, and quote unquote prevent that from happening, or to understand when it is, because it's like, you know, that's, as long as employees don't share that information. Like, just to be clear, I'm not in favor of sharing that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
Like, I would never
Yeah.
tell people what I make, but it's an interesting argument in favor of sharing because it lets you know, like, hey, I'm being massively underpaid compared to someone with 10 years less experience, or, you know, like, it just puts it in perspective.
But that also puts it on you because if you have a good touch on like the market, say you're like a project engineer, you're looking around, the average project engineer in your discipline makes this. Then you can go on your performance review and be like, hey, you know what? Thank you for the good review. I'm getting massively underpaid. Here are the averages from multiple companies and the averages from what your job postings are. Because you could look at the company you're at and look at their Glassdoor thing, or their, or not Glassdoor, like Indeed or whatever, like their job posting.
Glassdoor is a good one for salary.
But what I mean is, like, Indeed will say, we're looking for this position for this much money a year.
Oh.
And then you can be like, okay, you're offering this much a year, and you're going to give them a signing bonus, and you're paying a recruiter to pick them up, which is the entire salary of that person. But you're not going to give me that much money. Like, that's another one you could do if you were curious, like, if something like that's available. Which does happen sometimes.
It's crap when you're talking, like what I was saying earlier, whenever I'm at your former company, my current company. Now, there was one time where a bunch of us were hanging out, and inevitably, like, salary comes up and everything, and like I just got out of that circle, and then everybody they were like all squabbling about like salary and stuff, and I felt like everybody walked away from that conversation in a bad mood.
Yeah.
That's why I just don't talk about it.
Salary, the only thing I can relate salary to is penis size. Because you're sitting there and you're all in a group, and like you're happy with, you might be happy or you might not be happy with your penis size, and you're with like 12 people, and randomly someone's just like, oh, my penis is 15 inches long, and everyone's just like, what the fuck? It's 15 inches, and like they're appalled by it, and like all 11 of the 12 people walk away like, this fucking guy's dick's bigger than a foot long, and like
Well, the issue is it's about girth, not the length.
yeah. But like, goddamn. But you know what I mean, though. Like, that's what it's like. Like, people go into those conversations either happy, complacent, or not happy.
Yeah,
And
exactly.
most of the time, everyone leaves that conversation unhappy. It's just like, I don't know.
It just puts everybody in a shitty mood, and that's not what I'm about.
It's awkward. Like, it's a private thing you don't want to talk about.
Right, exactly. I mean, to go off of your penis analogy, it's like seeing everybody naked.
Yeah, you're in like the gym showers. This is why I didn't play sports as like a young kid, because they would like, my dad would be like, oh, everyone just showers together. I'm like, there's no fucking way.
Dicks flopping around
Yeah.
everywhere. Yeah.
But like, you go to like the Y or something, and all the old guys are just walking around.
It's always the old guys.
Yeah, and it's like,
Old women do it too.
oh my god.
Yeah, it's twice as bad.
Oh no.
So, but,
This is nothing worse than just a drooping pendulous ball sack. Just
yeah, they just sit there and like they make some stupid joke to you, and it's like, oh, weather out there is kind of bad, huh? Meanwhile, his balls just like dangle down like 80 feet because he's 80 years old.
lifting them up just to clean them.
He's got like a fishing reel there,
got
trying to
slung
reel him
over
back
his
in.
shoulder.
He's slung over his shoulder so he can clean the grundle.
Yeah.
Awful. The people that weigh themselves without a towel on kills me every time, because the towel's going to really have a lot of weight and throw that measurement off.
Yeah, they just sit there like they took a shower, so their body absorbed like 8 gallons of water. So now they're already heavier than they were before, and they're like, "Well, got to do this." Like, you should just dehydrate yourself. That's what all the professional bodybuilders do.
That's right. Yeah, that's how they get all extra veiny.
Yeah, ridiculous. I hate the gym. I love doing stuff at home. I don't know. I just
See,
I don't like being around
People.
See, the gym I go to, there's no one ever there, so I get best of both worlds, basically.
Damn.
I don't gotta shell out for all the equipment,
Yeah.
and no one's looking at me.
Yeah. What kind of gym do you go to? Like, is it like a chain?
No, it's a small little independent gym, and it's like a quarter mile from where I live. I could walk there if I wanted to.
Oh, fuck that.
Yeah.
I wouldn't walk on your road.
It's
It's a little
sketchy.
scary.
Yeah.
Even just getting the sandwiches was a little dicey.
I was like, I'll protect you. And it's
Yeah,
like a
that's
car
right.
comes flying by at 50 miles per hour. It's like, I'm not protecting you from that. We're both gonna
I
die.
gotta be honest. I would never take
Paper.
someone running on that road with me, but I'm just so used to it at this point. Like, it just does not faze me whatsoever. There's just enough shoulder where you're not gonna get clipped.
Yeah. There's people
I
who
like this road.
there's people
Oh geez,
who
don't even get me started.
there's people who walk and ride their bikes and jog on this road. They like walk side by side with their dogs and shit. It's like a 1-lane thing, and they don't even look at you. Like, you drive by them and they're just like, they don't even like pay attention, and they're walking on the wrong side. Like, they're walking back
With
facing
traffic,
you.
yeah.
Yeah, with traffic. So you could just pelt them, and it's like they don't even care. They're not even looking. They're like daring you to do it. It's like, hey, I hate my dog. Run it over. No.
It was like when I hit the bird in Maine. Remember that?
Oh, that was terrible.
I
Oh,
felt so bad. It was just like we were on our way up to Maine, and I had just taken a left at a light, and I just get through the
oh
intersection,
yes.
and then I see this like just a thing coming into like the top left corner of the windshield, and it just goes, poof, and I was like, "Holy shit! I just hit a bird."
My
It
mom
is-
did that once. We were coming back from Vermont. We were like driving at least like, I don't know, 80 down,
Oh.
like 89, and then just there was a thump, and it happened in the blink of an eye. I'm like, did
Yeah.
you see that? Did that bird just hit us, or did we hit the bird? But I don't know.
Yeah,
But it was, yeah.
Do you think they have like a shitty depth perception? Because like, I know some birds like hawks, eagles, falcons, like they're great at hunting, and like they can just see shit like miles away.
They could see mice too.
Yeah.
Mm.
And it's like, but the other birds, like pigeons, are just like the random bird that you hit, like whatever the hell it is, like the sparrow.
I don't know. It's just like a common. I feel like
black and white bird. I don't know.
They probably become
Someone's
like kind of
canary
desensitized.
Yeah.
And they just like don't think much of these
They like
giant steel boxes that are.
They like see
around.
if you walk towards them and like wave your hand, they fly away. But like if you're driving in a car, they're like, oh yeah, no, I'll get in front of that.
Yeah.
Get completely smashed.
That's one thing I never understood is like you got the birds that you're driving along, and they always feel the need to swoop like right as you're driving along. Do you want to get run over?
And I was like, remember we saw the bird that was stuck in the car once?
Oh yeah.
So bad.
Yeah. It was in
That was
the wind.
Wasn't that on your way to my place that one time?
Yeah.
Yeah. It was. We were driving to your place to record the second podcast. I think we told the story of this on the second
Probably,
podcast.
I'm pretty sure. If you haven't listened already, go back to
Yeah,
episode
go back
2.
and check out episode 2.
Yeah, but like, what was I gonna say? Oh, I was driving with my mom to get the sandwiches from Slater's.
Oh yeah.
And this chipmunk fucking ran right in front of the car, and like I'm like ice cold veins. So my mom's
just
like,
say you sped up.
no, my mom was just like, ah! Like she was like freaking out. And she's like, "You're gonna hit it," and I was like, "I don't fucking care. Like, would you want me to swerve into the oncoming car?"
Yeah.
She like, and
yeah.
she was like, "Matt,
selection.
yeah." She was like, "Matt, you can't do that." I was like, "It's a chipmunk. It's not contributing. like, it's not paying my taxes. So like,
It's not contributing to the GDP."
So I don't know. I just like didn't think of it. I was like, okay, if you're dumb enough, I'm not gonna miss. So I don't know. She was just like
The
appalled by
consequences
that.
for trying to avoid it are far greater than just staying the course.
Exactly. I was like, you're crazy. I would never dodge that into the other lane.
No.
So I don't know. I completely crushed it.
For sure, yeah. Like you felt it.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Oh.
So she was just like appalled by that, and I was like,
what are you supposed to do?
I don't know what you want me to do.
Do you want me to do?
Yeah.
Go get a shovel and have a burial.
Yeah.
Go repent for my sins. It's not like you're going out on purpose with the intent of hitting chipmunks. Like it happens sometimes.
What's your favorite place to drive to? I just like driving
Wherever
in my neighborhood and running over wild animals.
Now, here's a different scenario. Though. I witnessed some asshole run over a turtle.
Oh, that's terrible.
See,
That's a whole different class.
That's exactly what I'm saying. I was at this park and the speed limit's fucking 10 miles an hour. And there's this dude driving around and there's a turtle trying to cross the street. I turn my back for 2 seconds and you just hear this crunch. I'm like, you piece of shit. It's not like
What
this is a
an
busy
asshole.
road. You intentionly
They
ran
purposely did that.
Exactly. You wanted to see how strong that turtle shell was,
disgusting.
you prick.
Oh.
100% avoidable. It's not like it's a fast-moving target.
Was he in a pickup truck? Like
A
I
white
just
one?
like I just picture a white pickup truck with dualies on it.
It wasn't a pickup truck. I want to say it was one of those just comically like a Suburban or something. It was one of
Oh,
those.
yeah.
Yeah. Like not a soccer mom van or nothing like that, but like just like a Suburban. A
Well, like
big-ass
a soccer mom. Oh yeah, a soccer mom SUV, which is a thing. We went to Lowe's the other day, and there was this woman like she backed up through like
my God.
two rows of parking.
So lost in those
So picture your average like row of parking, like
Yes.
your lattice. So she parked in she backed up into one so that she'd be facing out of the parking space. And then she kept backing up into the other one, so it's like you pulled into the parking space.
Oh.
Then she cut across through that, like through the driving lane, into the front space of the next lane of spaces, or next row of spaces. And then she backed up to make it look like she pulled in next to our car. And I was just like, what the shit are you doing? And she's driving like this huge Lincoln Navigator, like a $2 trillion SUV. And like her husband gets out of the vehicle and he's just like,
What have I done?
yeah. And he looked like a construction worker and she looked like he never worked ever. Karen, yeah.
Short hair.
Yeah. I was just like, oh my God. Terrible.
I think my favorite story is one of my brother's old coworkers used to drive a Toyota FJ, and one morning on the way home from work, or way to work, he hit a wild turkey.
Oh.
But it got embedded in the grill, so he couldn't, like, I don't know if he didn't know or what, but like he didn't get it out until he got to work and realized what had happened.
Oh my God.
It was just
That's awful.
such a driving around with, like, this turkey
This
plastered all
shitty
over
hood
the
ornament.
place. Yeah.
It's like one of them, the Mack truck has the Bulldog.
Yeah.
The Jaguar has a Jaguar.
The FJ is a
The
turkey.
FJ has
Giant ass turkey.
a giant wild turkey. It's like, that's an interesting hood ornament. Yeah, I got it at Spencer's Gifts. Like, thought it would be good. That's such a weird fucking store.
Spencer's? Oh,
Yeah.
yeah.
I only went in once or twice, I think.
Really?
Yeah.
I go in every time because I need to see what t-shirts are there. Like, that's where I got the Ed, Edd and Eddy shirt.
Nice. That seems like, I mean, I can't think of where else you'd buy an Ed, Edd and Eddy shirt.
No. So, like, them and Newberry Comics have, like, the best custom tees that you don't order online.
Yeah.
But, like, it's weird. They have great hats, even though I look stupid in hats.
I've never seen you with one.
Because I don't want to look stupid in front of you.
Hmm.
Thank you. But,
It all makes sense now.
yeah. And then immediately after that, it's, like, bongs, dildos, and it's just like, the hell was that?
I heard
Dishwasher.
Oh.
That was a dishwasher?
It's going to creep open in about 30
I
seconds.
think it's a truck.
No, it's a dishwasher.
I think it's a truck.
$10 is a dishwasher.
$30 it's a truck.
That was a high-pitched
Dishwasher.
beep.
It was a high-pitched beep from brakes.
Nope.
And I hear a vehicle. Once the toilet stops running, be silent for a second.
I bet you within...
No,
I bet you lunch at the Bolton Bean
No.
that within 3 minutes, the dishwasher's going to crack open.
Does it make a noise when it cracks
yes.
open, too?
It hasn't
Does it
been...
go like...
No, it cracks open, but it hasn't been enough time yet. I'm telling you that was a vehicle that stopped.
Since when do
We
brakes
could just
beep?
have Alex check how much time is on
it was
the
it was a screech. How much time's left on the...
That was a beep. That
It's
wasn't
gonna be
a
9 or
screech.
10
I'm
minutes.
checking how much time.
Dude, that was a beep.
9 or 10 minutes.
Fuck off.
Suck a dick!
Dude,
I've been asking you that for no. No, but like it is 9 minutes.
Yeah. And that was a beep, not a screech.
Yeah, and it came from that way.
You gotta clean the corn out of your ears, mister.
Damn it! I don't even have anything to say. Like that's terrible.
Just wallow in it.
No.
I mean,
Feel bad about this. No.
I refuse.
Damn it. I could have sworn that was like a
No.
truck stopping.
No. It was very clearly a beep.
Mm.
When you listen to the playback
Very
on
much an
this,
appliance.
yeah,
That's how like
it came from inside the house too.
that's like how unnecessarily vigilant I am. My thought immediately goes to someone's out there.
It's like when a dog's ears perk up.
Like you took a shit and it's just like, what was that? And it's like there's a raccoon outside or something. I gotta kill it. It's like, nah, I
just took a shit.
I
Like,
just got home from school
it's a sound.
because I'm never gonna go to the bathroom in school.
Mm-mm.
That was my worst thing. Like, with college.
Oh, I thought you were going to say high school because I was about to proudly declare that.
No.
I almost went my entire high school career without ever using the bathroom.
Exactly.
Wow.
So I had the same exact thing. The only time I ever had to take a shit in school was when we had sporting events and the game started at like 5, but school got out at 2. And it was like, fuck, I got my 2:45 shit like ready. And
I'm regular.
yeah, it's no,
God damn it.
It's every day at that time. And like I had to go there. But in college, every fucking bathroom is shared.
Mm-hmm.
And you can't, there's no, like, you can't take a
Oh,
comfortable shit and, like,
No, when I like
ugh.
pissing is one thing, but like when I gotta take a shit, that's me time.
Yeah.
I can't take a good shit if it's a shared bathroom.
You need the absolute corner, like, the cleanest one possible. It has to be fully stocked. Like,
handicapped
one.
stall,
Yeah.
lots of room. You got that bar.
you have to sit there and just, like, realize that
Ponder
no
your
one
life
else
choices.
in the world exists at that very moment. It's the most private space in the world. And I will say, UMass Lowell, the mechanical engineering department,
Private bathrooms.
had the best fucking bathrooms because
Wow.
no one used them. And because no one was there. But you would go, they had a bathroom on the first, underneath, it wasn't a basement, but the buildings weren't level. So it was
Okay.
underneath the first floor of one building, but not in the basement. No one knew about this bathroom. And it was like a 4 or 5 like seat one and 4 or 5 stalls. It was, or not stalls, urinals. So it was massive. It was like finding Moaning Myrtle's bathroom, basically.
I was
Harry
just gonna
Potter.
say, like, it sounds like a Harry Potter
Yeah,
bathroom.
like no one's in there at all. I would go to the bathroom there every fucking day while I was in college for 3 years, and I barely saw anyone there.
How about that?
It, like, when I found that, it just relieved so much anxiety. Oh,
The shits were just flying out.
yeah, it was so nice. Like, if I could have found a shower like that, because like showers in the dorms, those are worse.
Dude, that was rough.
You have to walk into them with a steel toe boot because they're like, oh, you should wear
Dude,
flip flops.
No,
Like,
dude, you would get, even with the flip
What?
flops, you're still getting trench foot. Like,
Yeah.
it's not good.
like I was like, okay, think about this. World War I, they still got fucking, what is it? Not gangrene, is it?
Trench foot.
Oh, trench foot. Yeah. Oh my
I
god.
literally just said it.
Fuck. Alex, it's trench foot. So like, but they were wearing boots. So like, I'm sorry. You go into that shower, you're getting trench foot unless you're wearing like fucking NASA boots or something like this. It's protected from every single
Fresh
chemical.
pair of Timbs.
Yeah, like a fresh pair of hazmat outfit. It's like, where are you going? I'm gonna go take a shower. Well, the water's not gonna get in. I know. Like, he just didn't want it.
Where are you going, bud? Taking a shower. You got your boots?
Yeah. You got your vacuum chamber?
Oh my god.
No.
That's one thing I don't miss about college is the fucking the share bed. Where I lived freshman year was thankfully this was the only year I really had to put up with it. But you know, it's freshman year and pretty much everybody you know in your building is taking the same classes. So naturally you have your classes at the same exact time.
Mhm.
If I always got up ridiculously early to beat the line for the shower because it was the worst. The building I stayed in was just severely underdesigned because I remember there was just these. Frankly, the building was laid out like a prison. There was like this one main staircase, and then each hallway was a wing, and it was just a hallway full of doors. But I remember in the particular wing I was on, I couldn't tell you how many rooms there were. The hallway just kept going like it was The Shining or something. But the bathroom only had 3 showers. So
Oh my god.
picture all these young men just going to the showers like 10 minutes before class starts. Just a fucking shit show. So I would get up like 2 hours earlier than everybody else, take my fucking time in the shower, and then just hang around until class.
It's so
And that's
stressful.
what you had to do. And I would still wear sandals.
Yeah. You have to do that though. From my freshman year, not orientation, but like how like the RAs would do like floor meetings.
Yes.
Mhm.
The first thing they talked about, don't masturbate in the showers
Oh god.
because it would clog the drain. That's the
What?
first thing they said to us.
Not because it's inappropriate, but because
Yeah.
they're more worried about the drains.
Yeah. That's what they said to us. And then they said if you're gonna, they told us about like shitting etiquette, like the whole entire thing. It was like we were at a really terrible summer camp, and you had like the bad bathroom.
I want to know whose loads are clogging the drain.
Yeah.
They must be dehydrated or something. Like
A real thick, chunky load.
yeah.
Ugh.
But that was what the first thing they said to me was. I was just like, okay, good.
Thanks.
I'm going to enjoy this year.
Wouldn't that just be a wonderful start to your day? You open the shower curtain, there's just someone's load just slowly dripping down the wall.
What was that movie with Robin Williams, the green blob thing?
Flubber.
You just open up the shower, there it is, but it's not like some science experiment.
Oh
it's
no,
just like,
that's not Flubber. That's
yeah, it's just like the Hulk walks out of there. It's like, oh, I gotta get to psychology class.
right, because everyone knows Hulk shoots green loads.
Yeah, exactly. That's why he's green.
It's like wading through Jello. I'm sorry, where are we going with this?
I didn't even get here.
They didn't want you to plug the drink.
Back on track. I thought college, to me, the first year felt like a summer camp. Like,
Okay.
I didn't give a shit about the classes I was in. It was more just like who's in what building, what each building symbolizes, trying to figure out the layout of the land. The food sucked. Like, it's just like this whole thing. You're trying to get through all these like crazy experiences with people you've never met before, and it felt like that. I don't know how we got to that, but I remember that was the point I wanted to make.
Got it. Yeah, I honestly forget where we started with that too.
I don't remember
I got
anything.
nothing.
Oh Christ.
We are at an hour and 45 minutes though.
Okay.
How do you feel? Yeah, that is.
Wait.
Definitely truck brakes.
So the AC was, or the heater thing was going, also known as a heater. It sounded like rumbling, and I heard the beep. I swear to God, that was a truck braking.
We have confirmed it was not.
I know, but that's fine. In case anyone's wondering, our dishwasher stopped running.
It sings to us.
We could just enhance the sound there.
Yeah,
Or just dub it in afterwards.
exactly. So I guess that's it. Do you guys have anything else to add, or should we keep talking?
That's quite the abrupt ending there.
I know.
Mhm.
Yeah.
It is our longest one, though.
Is it?
Yeah.
The last one was longer.
No, the last one was
Really?
the shortest one.
No shit.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
Hmm.
That was a great episode. We're going to wrap up here in a nice, very formulaic and natural way.
Probably the most organic of all closings.
Yeah, exactly.
We've taken up enough of your time at this point.
So sorry.
Our closings are like your oatmeal. They're organic. Thank you.
Good night.
Dinosaurs all the way.
Where's the laughing emote thing? Oh, it's too late. Well, what were you going to play?
Oh, it's okay. Matt, say something.
I knew
going.
it's hilarious. What were you gonna do?
Matt, say something really underwhelming.
That's pretty underwhelming. Like underwhelming in what sense?
Just tell me something that.
I prefer lukewarm coffee.
Oh no, the wrong sound. God damn it!
See, that's not underwhelming though. I don't like hot coffee, but I like just like room temperature coffee. What? I'm like a baby. I have the. They can't hear that if it's over there. But like, I don't know. I like that coffee. Okay. Okay. I need to say something underwhelming.
No, it's okay. The ship already sailed. I think we just got to go out, Matt.
All right. No, that's fine. Well, thank you very much for listening. We'll see you next time.
No, we won't.
Well,
It's
they're not
podcast.
going to see us.
Yeah, that's true. Well, most of the you'll hear us next time.
I hope whoever's listening to this has been staring at the static image of the sock for the whole hour and a half.
Yeah, it kind of embodies everybody.
We should come up with a name for it.
No, it's the Wet Sock Podcast. That was its name at birth.
I think she was talking about the sock itself.
Yes.
No, that's what I'm talking about. Like, the siblings are like Jeff and like Gary and like Sarah. Those are all socks. And then like his is the Wet Sock Podcast. That's his
Sarah
name.
Sock.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Sorry, that's what I meant.
Gotcha.
All right,
Right.
so we're ending this episode. Thank you for listening.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.